When you wear multiple hats, as you fortunately do, you have multiple opportunities, choices, career paths. You have to carve out time for yourself that is true, that is honest, and then you have to stick to it. I will work on this product. I'm producing this concert in 3 weeks. Every morning from 9 to 11, boom, that's what I do. At 11 o'clock, I turn that off and I'm going to play and I'm going to practice the piano for 2 hours.
Right.
Give yourself something in advance. Give yourself a goal. Give yourself a schedule. And I told Marcus the other day, my success in my career, yeah, artistic and ability and whatever, yeah, that's important. But I'm the scheduler from hell. It's about scheduling. It's about understanding all the parameters of all the artists that you're working with, all the venues that you're working with, all the unions that you're working with, and realizing I have this product that I have to do. This actor is only available on Tuesday and Thursday between 1:30 and 3. The piano player is only available on Wednesdays and Fridays from 2 to 5. And taking all of that information, putting it together, and then saying, this is what I'm going to do. I have this amount of time to do this song, this scene, this concert, this movement. I have this much time. Make a schedule, commit to it, stick to it, and then you don't have to worry about it because you know that between 2 and 5, you're going to cover the second movement, you're done. Boom, that's it. And if you don't get every detail that you wanted to, you can't because you're done at 5. So, but if you give yourself the schedule, if you give yourself the parameters, somebody, I don't know who it was, they talked about artistic inspiration, and it was Louis Armstrong, I think, said, what's your greatest, what's your greatest inspiration? And he said, a deadline. And I think that's true. When you can give yourself a schedule for the day, for the week, for the month, lay it out in advance rather than trying to make it up as you go along. Do it in advance, and maybe you'll change a half hour there. You'll switch this. You'll switch that. But give your brain, give yourself the freedom to know that here's what I'm going to do today. Here's what I'm going to do this week, and then stick to it. And then guess what? You finish a day. You've met your schedule. You've met your goals. It's a good feeling. I mean, yes, you just worked 14 hours. There was one day in New York. I will never forget it. I had 4 different rehearsals for 4 different productions in 4 different locations. 4. And it was the craziest professional day of my life as I went from Gilbert and Sullivan opera to a Moliere to, I mean, it was completely wackadoodle. But because it was all from 10 to 12, I'm doing Moliere. I have half an hour to get to the subway. Then I'm going to do, it was all I had to do was show up. All the advanced preparation was done. I just had to show up, be there, be in the room with the artists. And we did what we needed to do. And boom, it's 10 o'clock, we're done.
Right.
It's just that simple.
Cool, thanks.
First of all, thank you for doing this.
Sure.
And my question is, because I feel like the biggest thing holding me back is being time efficient. Like it happens a lot that I have a plan, like I want to get things done. I see other artists getting so much done in such a short amount of time. And then I sit there and the whole day passes. And then I just, like, nothing happened. I thought that I was being productive, but at the end, it's like I barely got anything done. So other than having a schedule, which you mentioned before, is there anything else like that you can?
Self-forgiveness is huge. You're, as a creator, I mean, maybe Michelangelo could get away with being 100% productive every single day. None of us will be. None of us can be. So forgive yourself if when you're trying to be creative, it's the muse won't always be singing into your head. It's not always going to happen. For me, that first show, that first thing that I wrote with Jonathan was the hardest thing I've I've literally ever done. And to this day, I write a lot of the scripts for the corporate musicals and the corporate things that I do. And to me, nothing in the world is more terrifying than a blank piece of paper. I look at that and I freeze up, and I don't know how to make the first thing, and I'm afraid to type the first word. How do I get started? And what I always fall back on, the schedule is very important. And then and the other thing about the schedule is, if it's not happening, if you were going to write that new concerto between 10 and 12 and nothing's really happening, it's okay. You were there. You tried. Come back tomorrow morning from 10 to 12 and show up. I think that as an artist, the hardest thing to do is to be present, is to be there for yourself, to be there for your collaborators, to be there with the other people in the room. Give yourself a schedule, give yourself forgiveness. And if it's laundry, if it's just things that you've got to sign up for this class, you've got to send out those 4 tweets, you've got to follow these 6 people. If it's just easy stuff, there's no excuse not to do that. But if it's about being creative, it's about being inspired, give yourself time, give yourself breath, and also know at 12 o'clock, you're done. And if you didn't write the perfect paragraph, if you didn't create the perfect vocal line, you've got tomorrow. Try again tomorrow. Don't beat yourself up and go past, well, now I'm going to go into my Instagram time to do that. Just keep going. So many writers that I know, really, really, really wonderful writers, they have a very specific time. They write from 6 a.m. to noon, or they write from noon to 5, or whatever it might be. And that's the only time they write. They don't do it in the morning. They don't do it when they're not doing it. And so they're free to do it in the time that they give themselves. It gives yourself freedom to live and not have to punish yourself because I'm not writing, I'm not creating, well, no, you're not supposed to, because you're only doing that from 12 to 5. So do that from 12 to 5, and then go out on a date, have a lovely dinner, and go see a string quartet. Go do something. And then guess what? You might be inspired by something that you saw, someone you spoke to, something that you saw on Instagram. Come back the next day at 12 o'clock, try it again. And you are an artist. You can't qualitatively be measured against another artist. What you do, what you create, only you do, and only you create. This guy might play the same Rachmaninoff, but he plays it differently. Only you can bring the score to life. Only you can bring the vocal line to life. Only you can write the lyric that you can write. Nobody else can do that, only you. So what you do is unique. What you do is special. What you do can't be done by anybody else. So take pride and ownership in that.